Hey everybody, and welcome on back to Minecraft. Today I am so excited to be doing yet another time-lapse build. Recently I've been really wanting to just get back into some building, find something more fun for myself here, something that I feel like I'd been missing for a little while. So today is all about picking up a small project, something that we could do relatively quickly here, and just something to have a lot of fun with building. I feel like all of the major projects we've been doing have just been absolutely massive. Things going all over the entire area, and today I'm really excited for this one. So what we're working with today is we're bringing in a small tiny village, or something like a hamlet that'll only be like 5 or 6 houses, a stables in here, a blacksmith, as well as like an inn area, and then a windmill up on the hill, and then a giant wheat field, of course. So here we're just doing a few little planning things throughout. I wanted to add in a diagonal building for this big ol' inn area that we're going to be creating, just to add some more interest to this one. That little upside down M shape right there, I guess a W, is going to be a stables area. Then we're just throwing in a few more houses surrounding here, just adding in extra bits of detail. Figured we'd also need a well in here so we have somewhere to get water. We are fairly close to a river in a swamp area, but I figured we need something cleaner than swamp water. So I figured this was a good way to go for it. Throwing in our blacksmith back there, leaving an open face area for it. This one I struggled with a lot for the general planning for it, because I want to make something more unique. So I figured we'd go with an L-shape house here than anything else, because, you know, we need to have some different shape to it. So we're opening up some doorways in here, clearing out the grass, give ourselves a better standing point of what everything's going to look like, and of course throwing our windmill up there on the hill so it's overlooking the town a little bit. Anyways, that's what our planning's going forward with. Let's jump into the world and actually get some building going. Jumping right into the building, we're going to slow this down a bit and focus on our first house here. I want to go for very much a rustic vibe, something like a rustic village, not quite what we see in the traditional Minecraft village, but I love creating these villages that are just covered in just like stone buildings with a really simple wood roof on them. I think these environments look so cool. It's so simple, yet it's just so satisfying to be able to see the end result for these, and I love this. Today is all about just creating something satisfying, creating something fun, but not trying to overdo it. We still want to make something that looks cool and looks unique and looks like we created it ourselves, and we're very unique in this. But the whole point of this video here is just really taking a step back to enjoy playing Minecraft again for me. Now, I'm not saying I'm burnt out on the game at all, don't get me wrong there, but I really want to focus here on just enjoying the little parts of it. I think that's something that we all get very caught up in. A lot of the times when we're playing Minecraft, or when we're doing whatever it might be, we get caught up in like the craze of it all. Whether you're playing like a competitive game, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to get to rank 1, I have to do all these crazy things, I have to be the very, very best. And I've been finding myself getting caught up in this with all like the crazy growth the channel's been getting and all that stuff. I keep being like, oh my gosh, I have to go bigger and better, I have to go bigger, I have to keep going bigger. And that's just not something sustainable. Today I really wanted to, like I said, focus on just doing this small little village here, making this thing as best as I possibly could. And I think that's a really cool thing to kind of be able to convey to everybody here, because I think that's something really important. It's not something that I want to be doing all the time, but I do want to be bringing in a few more, like a bit more variety to the creative builds that we're doing. So we might be seeing a few different things here outside of villages and towns and castles and things like that here in the next little bit. I'm actually going to be going on vacation here at the end of this week when you guys are seeing this video, and I'm going to just be out of town for a bit, so I figured this was a good way to fill some time in there as well. Anyways, talking about the build for today. Figure that's probably kind of important. What most of you are probably all here for is we're making this small village in here. The goal was to have a few different groupings of little houses. I wanted to make sure that every building, every single structure had something attached to it as well, so this felt more cohesive. Instead of a few buildings just kind of plopped around in the area, we still want to make everything feel very much connected. Like the blacksmith over there is connected to the farmhouse. There's a 1 block wide walkway in between them, but the roofs are more or less connected, so it feels like a general structure in that area. Then to add some more interest to it, we're bringing in this well design right here with that birch roof to it to make it a bit more interesting on there as well. Just so that we have, again, that extra variety in here. I love using the cauldrons in this just to have that extra bit of depth to the well itself, to make it look like you can actually pull some water out of it. We might need to come up with a mechanism one day. So if any of you have good ideas for that, a small scale one where we can make it look like you have a way to like pull that water out of there more than what we can do currently, I think that'd be something really sweet that we can add in to add a bunch of life into this area. Anyways, moving on to this next house. This one I wanted to make it a bit more unique than everything else that we have in here by adding a small lean-to on the side where you can see those 2 cobblestone blocks there. We're going to be adding this one in just a second, but more or less the design itself for this house is very, very similar to everything else. I figured we needed an outside little storage room or something like that along this area. And a lot of the structure of this building is just creating that base shape with the cobblestone, then going around the side of it, making it look like these stones are much more piled up. We're adding a lot of stones, cobblestone stairs and slabs, as I always call them, just around the area, just making it feel much more alive. One way we're actually doing this is by adding the small wood pile out there. Maybe they have some firewood. Maybe they're trying to heat the house or something like that, wherever they live. Stock up on wood that they're trying to use for some projects or things. Maybe mending tools for the fields that we're going to be planting here soon. Then over here, adding in the horse stable, which was a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. I managed to kill the horses a few too many times in there, but this one is just meant to be something super simple, some small corral area that they basically just threw together as soon as they had some space. One thing I do love in there that you can kind of see right now is we have a hay bale sitting in there on top of an oak trapdoor. I think it's a great feature that you can add into any kind of stables build that you're doing. If you visit any modern day ones, like they always have the hay sitting up high so the horses don't have to bend their heads all the way down to the ground. They can kind of look up a little bit, get the hay from there. I thought that was kind of a cool feature that we could add in Minecraft. Then over here, we're adding in another farmhouse. Most of this area is built around farming, so we don't need to do like a baker and all those different other complex things inside of a village that you normally see people adding, like the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, all those different things. We don't really need that in here. The point of this village is basically just a bunch of wheat farmers, and a blacksmith came in here because they needed tools mended. So the guy was like, okay, cool, I'll go live in a quiet village, make some cash. And then we have the stables in here for maybe some way that they're pulling all of their, like, I don't really know what we call them. I'm blanking on the word here. But all their like mechanical mechanism things, the plows and the hose and all that stuff going around the entire field there. That's what we're going for. We need to have some way to be able to pull those around, so we have the horse stable in here. Then as a way of attracting people and giving people a place to go while they're moving around the entire area, or a place to stop and spend the night, is we have this inn area right here that we're working on building now with a small vegetable garden out back, just some pumpkins and some carrots and potatoes back here, just add some variety to maybe what they're cooking for the night. They have an extra place to do that because we're going to throw in those giant wheat fields around the entire area here. So obviously we need to have some variety for the inn to attract some things instead of, hey, guess what? Tonight's special is again bread. So we have some way of adding some variety in here. So maybe they can have like pumpkins and all that good stuff. We have carrots and potatoes. Make some soups, some stews, all that good stuff. And it just added a lot more life to this area by adding in that small, colorful outside back area right there, which I thought was really, really sweet. I was very happy with being able to add this one in. I think overall, I'm really happy with how this build turned out. There's nothing crazy going on with it, but the way all the structures fit together here and the different shapes and the way that every single house here is unique, building off of one general shaped house design that we started with, that small L-shaped one, everything else still fits into that theme, but it's just different ways of doing it, and it makes it feel like a really cohesive town. Then we did add in those oak roofs over there just to make it a bit more, like add in more variety to the sky view of it all, so it's not just spruce on spruce on spruce everywhere, because there's actually no spruce trees in this area, so I figured we might as well include some oak in here. Now for the windmill blade. This thing is something I always struggle with. Today I tried doing something a bit different, and I want to add more depth to it. Instead of making it flat, I want to add a lot more depth to this one. So we're basically using the blade format here, and then we're doing an outline with wool and then filling everything in behind it. I think this one actually worked out pretty well. I was happy with the end result for this one. I think it was really fun. I had a lot of, like, this one took me a long time to do. I had a lot of fun with it. That was cool to do that. And I love the design of using all these buttons going throughout it. We're going to be throwing more in here in just a second to detail this guy out a bit more. I think it just adds so much more depth to it. I think overall that one actually worked really, really well for it. And it really fits in with the area. It's not too big and it's not too standout-ish, which I feel like a lot of times people build windmills. They're just so massive compared to everything else going on in the area, and it's just completely out of proportion compared to the small village houses, townhouses, or whatever it might be that you're building. So this is some way that we could quickly do it. Now using some world edit in here just to throw in everything here, make it very, very efficient and quick for these giant wheat fields, because there's no way I'm planting these by hand if we're just doing a creative project. I can tell you that much. But it's fun being able to fill in all this stuff throughout here and just really making this area feel like it's super coming to life by just adding wheat fields everywhere, dotting along these pathways with some fences to kind of contain those wheat fields back a bit, adding in some bushes throughout the area. The one thing I do wish I added in was actually some custom trees, but I kind of ran out of time for this one, so we weren't able to get into too many of those. But overall, so happy with this area. And with that, and now some final eye candy around this build, thank you all so much for watching today's episode. I really hope you guys did enjoy this one. I had a lot of fun just coming back here and going back into the basics and of building in Minecraft. I love building these small towns, these small hamlets, these small villages. I love building small things. I really do enjoy building those giant castles and things like that as well. But this right here is really what made me get interested in Minecraft. So I hope being able to share this with all of you today was something cool that you guys can enjoy. If there's anything else along these lines that you guys want to see moving forwards, anything else I can do on the channel, I am always looking for ideas. The next one I'm thinking actually is going for like an ancient lighthouse broken out on an island somewhere that no longer works, and we have like some ships crashing against this rocky island. Don't know why, but for some reason to me that sounds like a really fun build to do next. So if you guys are interested in that one, let me know down in the comments below. I'd really appreciate to hear back your feedback on that one, see if that's something we should pursue there, or if we should say screw it to that one, do nothing there and stay in these villages. Let me know on that as well. Anyways, thank you all again so much for watching today's video. I will leave you all with the rest of this one here, just a few more shots moving around this entire area, and it was just so much fun to do this. Please hit that like button if y'all did enjoy the video. Please hit that subscribe button if you're new. The support recently has been absolutely amazing. I really appreciate it from everybody here, and I will catch you on the flip side.